Hey guys, Mike Macklin with another episode of Workout 101 on workouttrainer.com right here at the gym, personal home fitness studio of Dr. Jim Sapani and myself. So today we're going to talk about the difference in the technique of each of the RDLs, more commonly known Romanian deadlift, and the straight-legged deadlift. Let's check it out. Alright guys, so many of you guys do deadlifts in the gym. Romanian deadlifts are probably the ones most people are commonly used to doing if you are a seasoned lifter or if you're just getting involved and you kind of more in that intermediate or novice stage. But a lot of people also get them confused with the technique and they kind of mesh the two together between an RDL, Romanian deadlift, and a straight-legged deadlift. So first of all, let's cover the differences. An RDL is actually a movement that happens at the hips. Hips are a big part of any movement that you do in the gym, especially when you're talking about the legs. So in this instance, the goal of the RDLs is really to utilize the glutes and the hamstrings in moving the weight up or down, not the back. A lot of people think that the back is involved in Romanian deadlifts. It's actually not the case. It is involved by having your lower erectors or your erector spinae in a static contracted state, but it's not doing the bending. Your hips are doing the moving. So when you think about an RDL, first thing, let's talk about the technique, okay? Technique is that you want to make sure that your feet are roughly shoulder width apart, just like they are in a normal deadlifting position. People know deadlifts where they do sumo. We're not talking about that. We're doing a Romanian deadlift. And some people even get regular deadlifts and Romanian deadlifts confused. An RDL means that your legs are in this bent position, not all the way down to where it's a movement that occurs to where your legs and your knees, there shouldn't be any movement in your knees. Your knees to remain not locked, but in a bent position here, just slightly forward. The angle should just be minimal, and what you're really doing is you're using your hips to rotate, not your knee, not your back. The first thing that you have to be aware of is as you position the barbell travel. It needs to be straight vertical as close to the point of contact with your foot. What that means is the bar should travel up and down your thighs and your shins. So if you come here and you look at me from the front, the bar pattern is really close to where the point of contact is with me and the floor. It travels down my legs and stays very close to my legs. My knees are not bending, okay? My hips are shifting backwards. From the side here, it's really important to understand what an anterior tilt is. An anterior tilt is to where your hips rotate back. This is called a posterior tilt. Where you squeeze your butt, you come forward. It's called an anterior tilt. When you're lowering down with the Romanian deadlift and forcing that bar through your thighs and pushing your hips back, your hips should move all the way back here to where your butt sticks out, and then you bend and rotate at the hip, not the back. So your chest and your scapula need to remain contracted, your chest up. Your head should not look up here. Your head needs to be neutral. A lot of people make a very, very, very bad mistake to where they do this with their head and they look at themselves in the mirror and they do this. Don't do that. Because what that does is that tends to force you to do this, and then you're putting stress and strain onto your neck, which you shouldn't do. The spine must remain neutral. So as you do this movement, you're coming down, hips rotate back. There's an arch in my back. I'm not bending out my back. I'm lowering down at my hips, and so I come down here, and I'm coming up, and I'm squeezing my butt at the top. As you come here, you gotta squeeze your butt. Squeeze it at the top, hold it. Then release, let those glutes and hammies do the work. My knees are not bending. I'm coming down, rotating at the hips, come up, squeeze the butt. By squeezing your butt and activating your glutes at the top, that's when you're gonna get that muscle connection with your brain to utilize the glutes. Shift gears just real quick for the straight leg deadlift. The straight leg deadlift is a different movement. Now what you're doing is you're actually putting a stretch into your hamstrings, and it's movement all about more range of motion and reach, okay? So in the difference between an RDL and a straight leg deadlift is all about flexibility. I'm a flexible guy, which is the reason why I'm up on an elevated surface here. I can go further because the weight plates are higher, right? So I can actually go down here. I'm not really getting the benefit out of this movement because I'm actually pretty flexible. The weights would hit the ground first. So the idea is to get up on an elevated surface. For myself and my preference, if you're not flexible, don't worry about this. But the idea is as you come up here, now where the bar travel stays close to the legs in an RDL, I'm not worried about that in this instance. The other thing is my legs or my knees aren't bent. They're more straight. They're not hyperextended and locked, but they are straight. I do have a resistance here to I'm not locking the legs out, okay? My legs are straight, and as I come down, once again, I'm not rotating at the back here, but I am rotating at the erector spinae. I'm not hunching the back in the thoracic or the middle part of my back. I'm not leaning forward. But as I go down here, I'm just reaching, letting the bar stay vertical. I'm not keeping it back. I'm letting, as I lean over here, the bar goes away from my body, out in front of my toes, and I'm reaching down to the point where I feel a nice stretch into the hamstrings. My legs, again, in RDL, I'm more like this. Now, I'm more like that in the knee. I'm not hunched like this. My butt is still out. I'm pivoting, rotating at the lower part of my back, and I'm reaching in front as far as I can go. The moment I feel my back do this, I've gone too far. You still want to keep the load onto the hammies, but you're reaching for a stretch into the hammies. Here, back up, here, letting the bar come in front of your body. So with an RDL, the Romanian deadlift, you're keeping the load back here because you're shifting your hips back, letting the bar glide down, more bend in your knee, puts more emphasis on your glutes and on your hammies. Regular straight leg deadlift, as you lean, you're letting the bar just hang vertical as you're leaning down to put a stretch into the hammies. Two different movements, very similar, but there is a difference. You guys have any questions about this or anything else, please ask me on the Workout Trainer Facebook page. Ask me here wherever this video is posted. If you want a workout program utilizing these movements, if you're watching on workouttrainer.com, make sure to click below. Until next time, guys, it's Mike Mackerman coming to you from Westlake Village, California at The Gym. Take care.